It's almost been a year since I tackled the 30 platinums in 30 days challenge, and I'll be honest, that itch to try it again has been getting bigger and bigger recently. The only issue is, at the time I originally did that challenge, my wife was on maternity leave, and my son was still basically a glorified football, as opposed to now. The wife's back at work, and now my son is on the move, needing 24/7 supervision, so a 30-day challenge isn't really on the cards right now. However, I still wanted to try and get that rush and put myself under a bit of pressure, which is when I thought about tackling a 24-hour platinum challenge. My platinum earning skills have gotten a lot better since my last challenge, and I was ready to put them to the test. So I got to work looking into different games, trying to find platinums that would take between 12 and 16 hours, as for me that would be the truest test of this challenge. Surprisingly, quite a few games popped up that I'll save for a later date, but one game truly stuck out to me. The Lego Movie, the video game. I know it may seem a bit random, but Lego games are some of the more highly suggested games for me to cover on the channel. Most of them though are between 20 to 40 hours to platinum, if not more, so I wasn't expecting to see any Lego titles pop up in my research. So I figured, since I've never played the Lego Movie before, and according to PSN profiles it should only take 15 hours to complete, it seemed like the perfect game to test myself with. And you know, it's on PS Plus, so I can finally start getting some bang for my buck for once. So I downloaded the game, and once I worked up the courage to hit start, the challenge began. But first, picture this. You don't have to push yourself to the limits with a time-specific challenge in order to get your platinum trophies, and instead you can take your sweet time and, I don't know, download and play the sponsor of today's video, Raid Shadow Legends? Just a thought. That's right, I've officially made it here on YouTube because I get to talk about the mobile game that has captured the internet with over 400 million players worldwide. You've heard everyone talk about Raid, but have you actually downloaded the game? Do you know what you're missing? Like many others, I heard about Raid a while ago, but it wasn't until I started moving house that I actually downloaded the game for myself and gave it a go, and I was honestly really impressed. Visually, the game is incredible, and it's such an easy game to pick up and play. Whether it be through the campaign map, the 12 dungeons with tough boss battles, and PvP arenas all to test your champions and skills. With over 700 unique champions to acquire, and 15 awesome factions to choose from, endless customization options for your champions to help you face the game's many battles, not to mention the game is always getting content updates with new modes and champions, and you can play on mobile or PC. All of this has meant, even though I've settled into the new place with all my stuff, I still find myself booting up Raid because it's constantly rewarding you with something new, like a free legendary champion related to Raid's upcoming content, Call of the Arbiter, the mighty orc warlord Artak, who looks like an absolute world beater, who you can all unlock by simply logging into Raid for 7 days between now and July 24th. With all of this and more to come, if you haven't started playing yet, I mean, what are we doing? Use my link in the description or scan my QR code on screen to get an insane head start with my starter pack, including the epic champion Talia, among other useful items, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to it. Okay, I'm a little nervous for this one, but as soon as I press play game, we have to press that timer. So let's just get this started. Now, was 15 hours going to be a tight squeeze for a 24-hour challenge? Of course it was. But in fairness, was it really going to be 15 hours? Who knows? The times on PSN profiles are just a personal estimate, and recently I've been managing to shave that time down at least a few hours. So in my own optimistic, typical fashion, I had hope that I could get this done in less than 15 hours, as that time would really just give me time to sleep for that 24-hour period, and that's it, which isn't really realistic. Did I have a plan of attack going forward? No, it was more blind hope, and outside of the typical beat the game and clean everything else up afterwards, I was pretty much just going to hope I figured it out as it went along. So I started making my way through the story mode, unlocking the respective trophies along the way for doing so, as well as completing an instruction build without losing any studs before we hit our first hurdle in regards to my lack of planning, and it wouldn't be the last. Okay, so we've gotten through 5 of the 15 levels. It's been an hour and 50 minutes so far. Unfortunately, it's also just about to hit 2:30 in the morning, and I am getting pretty damn tired. So, I'm going to cut this session shorter than what I wanted. I kind of wanted to get through a few more levels before I called it quits for the night, but I do have stuff to do in the morning, so hopefully I'll be alright to get that done all quickly tomorrow, and then we can continue. Hopefully with plenty of time still to spare. So yeah, despite usually being quite the night owl, I tapped out earlier than I expected during the night. I mean, the plan was to stay up until I got through most, if not all, the story before heading to bed, but I knew I had to be up nice and early to get some errands taken care of in order to free up the rest of the day for myself. I just had to hope that despite my lack of overall progress so far, I mean that 8.8% didn't look great as I was calling it, I could really focus up for the remainder of this challenge. Okay, it's the next day. It is currently 11:03 and we have about 13 and a half hours left. So she's gonna be tight. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit worried, but I don't have to do anything else really for today, so we can get straight into this. I tell you what, leaving in around 2 hours on the clock and coming back to almost 11 hours without playing the game did get my palms sweaty, but it also really burned a fire under my ass to get to work, and that's exactly what I did as I would smash through the rest of the story missions as well as unlocking a few other trophies on the side for doing things like defeating 20 enemies as Rage Unkitty, completing all instruction builds in story mode, destroying 50 enemies as Metalbeard, shooting Emmett with Robo Skeleton, and playing as Green Lantern and Superman, earning me 22 out of the 49 trophies by the time I'd finally finished up with the story missions. But how'd I do time-wise? Okay, we've just finished the story, and as you can see by that percentage, we have so much we still have to do. We got about 9 hours left. I'll be honest, I'm stressing, but I have hope we can still get this done, but she gonna be tight. She is gonna be tight. Just under 15 hours were up and I just made it through the story mode. I was definitely stressed at this point, as you can probably tell from that absolute gamer stare I have going on in the corner there. I mean, seriously, I had no idea that was the face I made while I was doing these videos, but I did sort of form a plan of attack. I figured a bulk of my remaining playtime was going to be centered around 100%ing all the levels and each open world area. But to do that, I needed to get properly set up, which meant I needed studs and plenty of them. No, not you, the coins. I needed more money to buy the red bricks or cheat codes around the open world. I needed more money to buy different characters to be able to 100% the levels in the first place. I needed at least 1 billion studs in total at a time for a single trophy. So yeah, my first task was to go after some of the cheaper stud multiplier red bricks and get the cash flow rolling. During this, I managed to unlock trophies for starting a fire, and collecting every stud in a hacking minigame before I started my journey with the 100% requirements in the 15 levels. In each level you need to get a certain amount of studs to fill up the meter, find 5 golden manuals, and a pair of pants. For a LEGO game, not too bad, and this is what I was up to basically until the very end. In the meantime though, I was using an ever-growing bank account to purchase all the characters, which unlocked 2 trophies for buying them all and all master builders. Unlocked a trophy for using Lord Business's legs machine, as well as attempting a master build it with someone who isn't a master builder. But it was around this point where I'd completed a few levels, started finding my rhythm, and disaster struck. Around the 17.5 hour mark, my OBS started to fail on me. I was starting recording so I didn't end up with a 24-hour long single file, in case anything corrupted, and for whatever reason, I think I did this too many times, and OBS just stopped working. After about half an hour of troubleshooting, I decided I needed to restart my computer, knowing full well my nice clock would be lost, and despite OBS working after this restart, the clock was not, and this sort of frazzled me a little bit. I lost my momentum and focus on top of my precious time, leaving me with around 5 hours to go and plenty of things still needing to be done. Thankfully, once I cut my losses, it didn't take long to build myself back up to a speed that I was really happy with, making great progress from here on out. I achieved 1 billion total coins, played as Abraham Lincoln and Lady Liberty, switched from good cop to bad cop, and Vitruvius to Ghost Vitruvius. Defeated 20 enemies as Sheriff Not a Robot, 10 enemies with the Craggle Gun, and 30 enemies as Emmett Cowboy, and I finally customized a character. I was flying through these trophies, but time was definitely still not on my side. Okay, I just have over 2 hours left. I have 5 more levels to 100%, and then I have to 100% one more area, and then I just have to try and clean up. So I'm still pretty... It's gonna... As I said, it's gonna be tight. It is gonna be tight. But I think I might be able to get this done. 5 levels to go. 1 more area to 100%, and still a few miscellaneous trophies to boot in a little more than 2 hours. I was stressed, but still hopeful as always, and once again, I just went into a trance as time was biting at my heels, but we were making good progress as I quickly found all of the red bricks in the open world environments, scored 21 awesome dance moves in one of the mini games, and with about 40 minutes remaining, finally achieved the special in every level, collected all pants and all golden manuals. All that was left was to complete the bonus room and tidy up a few more miscellaneous trophies, and the platinum was mine. I quickly smashed a chair as bad cop, scored 21 awesome dance moves in another minigame, found and destroyed the invisible jet, and ultimately achieved 100% completion. But unfortunately, time was officially up. Alright, it's 12:37 AM, 24 hours have passed, and I didn't get it. I did get 95%, which I'm pretty happy with, not ecstatic with, because if I just had a little bit more time, I really feel like if I properly planned this out a little better, we could have done something. But as you can see, the last trophy I got was for 100% completion, and the first one was on 41. So we got 45 out of 49. The only ones we're actually missing is I just have to build all the construction things. And then there was 2 optional ones that I just completely forgot about, so yeah, I'm still gonna get the platinum. Now, I've got to be honest, I was pretty gutted after this point because, as you'll see, it really didn't take me much longer to grab the platinum. I quickly built all 15 golden instruction builds, built the spaceship as Benny, and shot Ma and Pa Bad Cop with the Craggle Gun in the relic room to finally secure the platinum and end my journey with the Lego Movie, the video game. Lose the piece of resistance. Alright, as you can see, 122, so it almost took me another hour to get the last few trophies in the game, but we did it. Failed the challenge, but we did it. So after 15 hours in total, the guide was pretty spot on this time. What are my thoughts about the Lego Movie video game the Platinum journey, and this challenge in general. Well, first of all, the game itself was such a blast to play. As someone who hadn't played it before, this was such a joy to experience, and so was the Platinum as well. With LEGO games, I do usually get quite bored of them after a while, but this wasn't like that at all, and as a Platinum, I highly recommend going for yourself. Now, in terms of the challenge, this one is eating away at me. I was so close, and I know I could get this done. I don't want to blame the technical difficulties or the life stuff that took me away from the challenge for periods of time. This one's on me for just not planning it all properly. This was very much a spur of the moment idea, and because of that, I was just excited to jump straight into it, and that did ultimately mean I had a few time wasting moments that really ended up costing me. But this challenge was so much fun to take on. The adrenaline rush, the fire under your ass, the push to plan on the fly, it was great fun, and even though I didn't come out victorious this time, you can bet I'm coming back and giving this challenge another go very soon, because I am itching to get a win. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Please make sure if you did enjoy the video to leave it a like because it helps let me know that you enjoyed yourself. Comment below some more Platinum suggestions for this challenge. Remember, 12 to 16 hours is the sweet spot. Shout out to the channel members. I usually shout everyone out, but with 75 total channel members now, I'd be here for days. But thank you all for that extra level of support. I truly do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Go give my socials a follow if you fancy at MayorHairBear. Join the Discord server to have a chat. Don't forget to use my Raid Shadow Legends link in the description or scan my QR code to get insane bonuses for new players with an epic champion, and I'll catch you all in the next video.